So welcome to part 2 of this little product animation I've been doing on my channel. If you haven't already seen part 1 where we do the modeling, this is going to be part 2 where we do a backdrop, set up the animation, and do a bit of compositing and lighting, and then render it out as a final animation. So go ahead, check part 1 first, and then we'll jump into this one if you haven't already done it. So now that we're in part 2, let's start by grabbing this guy with the empty here. Let's go G, X, and just move it over to the side, and then go Shift D and X and move another duplication over to the side like this. So we want them not too far apart, but we also don't want them too close. So something like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab one empty, and let's come here to our timeline. Let's make it, let's go over 100 frames. And let's come to frame 1, and let's go I with this empty selected. Let's go I and insert a rotation keyframe. Then let's come to frame 100. Let's enable auto keying, and let's go RZ 360 and press enter. So we've rotated 360 degrees on the Z. If it's simpler for you, you can just go to your properties, go to your item, and then over here just type in a value of 0 for all of these, and then come over here and then just change this to 360 and then add in a keyframe that way. So we're going to grab the second one, and let's come to frame 1. Let's go I, insert a rotation, and let's come to 100, and this time we're just going to go negative 360 and hit enter. And because we still have auto keying, it's automatically made it yellow, but you can just hover this and press I to insert a keyframe so they're all yellow like that on the transforms. And now we can turn off auto keying. So now what we have is these two turning in opposite directions. But what we're going to do to make this look cooler, let's go to frame 1. Let's select these two pieces over here, double tap R just to rotate them like this, and let's just position them so we got something that looks like this, kind of like a starting position. And let's grab these two here, and let's double tap R, and maybe let's put them like that. Just something cool like that. Now let's have a look at this. Okay, and let's select these empties. Let's just select the keyframes, press T, and let's make the animation linear. Let's grab this one here, select the two keyframes. Let's press T and make it linear. And now we're going to see we have this. So that's kind of a cool little presentation. You can kind of change it up however you want. Maybe have this at more of an angle. You know, be as creative as you want with how you position this. Once you have something you like, you can go Shift A, let's add in a plane, G, Z, bring it down, S to scale it up, and let's tab into edit mode and select these two edges over here. Let's go into our right view and go E to extrude, and let's extrude up and out like so. Let's right click and go shade smooth. Let's go into our front view and go Shift A, let's add in a camera, and we're just going to take that camera, G, Y, move it back. Go into the camera view, and let's give it a focal length under the camera settings of 90, like so, and let's just zoom it back just a little bit right here in the middle of the scene. And then let's grab our background. Let's go to our modifiers. Let's go add modifier and give it a subdivision surface. And let's tab into edit mode, Control R, click, just add in a loop over here. And then let's just grab this top edge and go E to extrude and Z and extrude up a bit. Turn off proportional editing. Let's press A to select everything, Shift D, right click to let go, and then go S, X, and flatten it a little bit, like something like this. E to extrude, Alt S, and just scale it out along the normals. And now press A to select everything, Alt N, and recalculate the outside. So now we can come in here, Control R, let's roll in two loops in the middle. Double click, and then S, X, and let's just scale along the X, just to clean it up like that. So now we have this cool looking backdrop. Let's go to our materials. Let's just go new. We've already given these placeholder materials to the buds themselves, but with the backdrop here, let's just go to the viewport. Let's give it a, for now, just a kind of greenish blue color like this. Tab into edit mode. Let's just select this bit in the middle, click plus, go new. And let's make that kind of the same kind of color, but make the value darker, and then assign it. Remember, this is just our viewport colors. So now if we go to our camera view, we should see something like this. Feel free to come into edit mode and adjust it however you wish. But it's just kind of making this nice looking backdrop. So now we're going to go Control B and drag over our camera. Let's go over to our render settings. Let's make it cycles, and let's make a GPU, only if you have a GPU, of course. And under the max samples, let's make something like 50. And then we're going to go Shift A, let's go to our lights, let's add in an area light. And in our front view, we're going to go G, move it over, R to rotate, and let's take that strength, make it something like 4,000. Let's up that size. Let's go Shift A, let's add in a plane and go G and move it over here. R to rotate and S to scale that guy up like so. Let's give that a material, and let's go to the base color here, just go to the value. Let's make that 7, so it's really reflective. So now if we go to our camera view, we go Z and we go rendered, we should see something like this. It looks really nice. Feel free to grab this light, Shift D to duplicate, kind of have it coming from the top a little bit if you want, and then maybe take that strength down to 1,200, maybe 2,200. Yeah, that looks good. And now we have this, all we have to do is go into our shading workspace, go into our rendered view, and then let's grab one of these buds. We already gave it the placeholder materials. So let's grab just the actual little silicone rubber bit. Let's go ahead and make that kind of like a bluish color, like so. And let's grab the actual body. Let's go to the first material we created on that. And let's kind of make it a bit of a darker color like this. And then we're going to grab the background. We already gave it those 2 placeholder materials. Let's grab the first one. Let's just kind of make it kind of like a greenish kind of blue like this. Let's grab the second one we added in the middle, and let's make that more or less the same, but make the value darker like this. And then let's just select our camera. Let's go to our camera settings and go to our depth of field, click on the eyedropper, and then let's just select one of these empties as a reference point, and then bring the f-stop down to 0.5, or maybe even 0.2. So we have a nice soft focus. And then we're going to go ahead and save, and let's go render and render the image. And here we have it. We're going to make this look even cooler by going into our compositing, clicking on use nodes, and then let's just Shift A search and get a viewer node. Plug this image into the image here, connect these 2 cables together like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go Shift A search and get a lens distortion node, put it on here, and let's go 0.02. And at the bottom, we're going to go 0.015. So we get a little bit of dispersion and a little bit of lens distortion, and we're going to go fit, just to fit it to the frame. And now, if you look at it, it's looking a little bit better. If you want to, you could go and duplicate this lens distortion, put the image into the image here at the top, give it a jitter, and then go Shift A search and get a mix, add it over here and change it to, I think an add would work, and then combine these 2 together like so. And then all we have to do, if you zoom in now, you're going to see we have this noise, and then I can just bring this factor down just to remove that sort of noise a little bit, that kind of grain. And having that kind of adds this really cool effect, I think. I don't know if you guys can see it here, but it really kind of makes quite a difference. But yeah, that's looking very good. So now let's go back to our layout. And now if you want to render this out, go to your output settings, click on your file here, go to your desktop, and then you can change the file format to FFmpeg video. Under your encoder, you can make it a MP4, and then you just go render and render out this animation. As always, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I will be putting the final result onto my Patreon if you guys want to download this file. All of that is in the description below. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I appreciate all the likes and subscriptions.